Hi, I just wanted to do a quick tutorial to show you how to use Affinity Designer 2, in my case, with Cartoon Animator. I'm probably lots of tutorials out there to do it, but it took a bit of working out, and I just want to show you how I've worked it out. So the first thing I want to show you is what you should download from Affinity. So if you've got Affinity Designer, of course the big advantage of Affinity is you don't have to keep paying for it. You buy it once, you own it. So here is Affinity Designer 2. And if I go to the Windows module, what do you download? You're looking for the EXE version, EXE. You don't want the other versions because they don't connect with Cartoon Animator in the same way. So, you know, originally I downloaded something else, but just go for the EXE version. So download the EXE version, install that on your machine. If you've got the wrong one on there, you can uninstall it and reinstall it that way. Once you've got the EXE, you're ready to go. That's the one that you're using, okay? And I have actually opened it up. Now, the other thing is you need to set up your options so that you've got your appropriate editors. And that's under Edit Preferences. And under Edit Preferences, you'll see here you've got your image option and you've got your vector option. So you can see which ones are supported. So what you do is you basically go to your program and you find the appropriate one you're looking for. So which one am I looking at here? I'm looking at vector. So I don't want to have photo, I want to have Affinity Designer, and then you go and find the EXE there. And when you double click that, that'll open it up and then you're done, okay? So that'll set it up and you can do the same for your, you know, if you want to go for Affinity Photo, which I've done. Okay, once you've done that, they're there. And then if you want to do a bit of vector editing, you can click on it and it says, do you want to do a new object or do you want to open a file? So I'm going to do a new object. And if I go new object, it says, it gives me a warning, please save your work, etc, etc. And I'm just going to, and there is more information, you can actually click there. But I'm just going to click OK. And it opens up, if it was already open, here you are. I've got Affinity Designer 2. So there it is, it opens up. And you can create something in here. So I'm not going to do anything particularly dramatic. I'm just going to click the option down here and I'm going to choose to do a cog, and I'm just going to click and drag, and I'm going to hold the Control and Shift key and then the space bar to move it around. Okay, and there, and then I'm just going to change the color. So let's take it to say an orange, perhaps a nice orange, maybe a bit brighter. There we go. So that's my item. Now this is the trick. Okay, what I'm going to show you now is the key for being able to take this from Affinity Designer into Cartoon Animator. And once you know this, you do it with everything and it works fine. First, you go to File and you look for this one that says Open Folder in Explorer. So bear in mind that when you clicked the button in Cartoon Animator, it sent a link across to Affinity Designer showing exactly where this file is going to be held. So if I click on that, it takes me to this location. Now notice at the top there I clicked and that takes me to the location, and then you click copy. Okay, that's the key. Once you click copy, okay, and I can just close that down. I don't need to worry about it now. The next one is you need to export it, not save it. So if you do file save, it's always going to save it in the Affinity Designer extension, which isn't what we want. We actually want an SVG. So you need to go to export, and then in the export settings you need to go to SVG, digital small size, raster 72, and at the top obviously you've got to make sure you've chosen SVG because it was on PNG for me before, but SVG, and then choose those options. Once you've done those options, you're almost there, because you then click export and then you click up here. Well, bear in mind it is in the right place, but I'm going to click here and then you do control paste, control V, or edit paste. Control V would be the one, and there it is, it's in there, and give it a name. So I'm going to call this one cog. So cog, save. Now I can go back to Cartoon Animator and it's not there. Why not? Because it's a new object, you actually need to bring it in. So if I actually go to my folder here and I can click in, there's cog there, and I can drag it in. Okay, so, and it's a prop, and there is the cog ready to work on. Alright, now that's how you do a new item. It's a bit of a faffy workflow, but it does actually work, and there's the item there that I can then, you know, use in the normal way. The issue though is, what if you want to change a person? Okay, so if I go to my content and I've got these people here, and I'm going to choose this guy, okay, and I'm going to bring him across. He's a vector character. Double click to get him in there. And there he is. Okay, so I now want to edit him. Let's just say that I don't like the shirt and I want to change the shirt. So I want to edit that in my vector editor. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take it straight into the other mode. And once he's in there, it's in composer mode, I can click SVG. And the same thing comes up. But if I click OK, there it is in the SVG editor, which in my case is, as you know, Affinity Designer. So I want to change the shirt. So I'm just going to go down, I'm going to find the hip, open up the hip, and go into the hip until I find the shirt, which is there. Yeah, that's the shirt. I now want to edit it. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in a bit. And let's move him down. And I'm going to choose my node tool. And I'm going to click this node. So I'm going to take these ones and I'm going to move that one up like that. I'm going to move that one up like that. It doesn't really matter. You just get the idea, and then I can just move, oops, wrong thing, and just move that up to there. Okay, so I've just changed his shirt. That's all I've done. And then I can do what I did before. So I can go to File, Open Folder in Explorer, and it's called Leon. But again, click at the top and copy, Control C, and then go to Export. So File, Export. Again, make sure it's SVG 72. Click Export. And again, if it hasn't come up, you can just click in there and do Paste again, which is Command or Control V, and then choose Leon, because you can see it's already existed. So Leon, save. It says you're going to overwrite it. Are you sure? Yes, I want to overwrite it. Then when I go back to Cartoon Animator, it updates. It updates in Cartoon Animator. Give it a moment and there you go. The update has actually taken place. So now it's very straightforward. When I do export, if I go backwards and forwards, if I do export, it's all going to be in the right place to be able to move forward. Just wanted to show you one more gotcha that sometimes people have. So if I then go back to Affinity Designer and I want to add text, this is the gotcha. If I click, so I'm going to put it in this place here, and I'm just going to click here and I'm going to say hello. Okay, and I'm just going to take the scale tool and I'm going to move it across. Okay, so there you go. I want to have some text on his chest. Now if I now go File, Export, and I do the same thing and I click Export and I go over Leon again, yes, and I go back to Cartoon Animator, I get this warning saying that it's not, everything's been able to come across properly. The reason is text needs to be converted to curves first. So if you want to add a text in, simply go back to your Affinity Designer, make sure your text object is selected, okay, and look at the button here. Now bear in mind I've got the selection tool here, but look over here, convert to curves. Click convert to curves. That is now converted to curves. Now do File, Export, make sure everything's correct, which it will be, and then it's going to be the same location because that's the last location I used. Leon, save, yes, I want to overwrite it. Go back to Cartoon Animator, which is taking a moment to update. There you go, take a moment to update, and there you go. No warnings, and hello has come in. If I go back to the, disconnect it and go back to the stage mode, you'll see that there's my character, and it all moves around, and he can animate properly with the word on there. Okay, I mean obviously you wouldn't do that, but that's just showing you how it works. So that's how you can create objects using that button there, okay, and how you can move them across. One other thing that perhaps people don't know about Affinity Designer is there is actually a stock tab, and if you can't see it, it's under Windows. Come down and open up stock, and this is free stock. So there's two options. So you've got Pexels and Pixabay, and you just click the I agree, I understand, or whatever, and then you can click for vectors and you can actually do a search. So if I was to do clock as a vector, you know, you can drag one of these clocks in, and then you can save that in the same location, give it a name, and then you can use that inside of Cartoon Animator, just so you know. Hope you found this tutorial useful. My name's Andrew Davis, and thank you very much for watching.